If your Delta faucet is dripping from the faucet spout, I'm going to show you how to fix it by changing the seat and spring. If you turn on the faucet and there's a leak around one of the handles, you'll need to replace the cartridge. The cartridge may also be referred to as a stem unit assembly. You'll see how to change the cartridge as well in this video, should you need to. Now, years ago, when I was a new homeowner, I went to the local plumbing store, explained my issue to the salesperson, and came home with nearly $20 in new parts, which included 2 new cartridges and a pair of seats and springs. Now, had I known better, I would have spent a modest $5 on a pair of seat and springs, because that would have solved my issue. This is a seat, and this is a spring. Let's get started. Sometimes you can find out whether it's the hot or cold faucet that's dripping by simply feeling the temperature of the drip. In this case, it feels like the hot, so I'll be changing out the seat and spring of that faucet. It's not a bad idea to do both faucets while you're at it, but I'm on a tight schedule today. I want to keep this video to 5 minutes as promised. All right, let's get under the sink. And now I'll need access to the cold and hot water shutoffs. Let's get all this stuff out. There's the hot. The cold is up there. I'll turn off the hot water, righty-tighty. Let's see if I was right about the drip. Yep, seems to have stopped it. But since the hot and cold water mix, it's important to shut off both supply lines. If you don't, there'll be a mini fountain of water coming from the supply line that's not shut off. And that happens when you pull the cartridge. Now that I've got the camera adjusted, it's time to remove the handle. This may differ by sink. It may be a screw on top like this one, or it may be a set screw on the side, which will require an Allen key. Other times the screws may be hidden under a plastic cap you'll need to pop off. But the point here is to remove the handle so we can get to the cartridge. And once we've removed the cartridge, then we can get to the seat and spring. I should have also mentioned, it's really important to make sure the strainer's in the drain or the drain is covered so you don't lose small parts down the drain. I've done it so many times and had to use the wet vac to suck the parts out of the plumbing. So once the screw is out, I just need to pull. And this handle never comes off easily. It's going to take some brute strength, I'm sure. For those folks who are thinking this will make a difference, let me show you. I've made this mistake before. It doesn't do anything. Now for that brute strength. Phew. As you can see, there's a bunch of junk that I really should clean off. But given I'm on a time crunch here, I'm going to leave it for now. To get the cartridge out, I'll use channel lock pliers to remove the bonnet nut, turning lefty-loosey. And it's always important just to take note of the orientation of the valve and then pull it out either by hand or with the pliers. Note here that some water is going to come out, and a lot more had I not turned off both the hot and cold water supplies. Well, I've got the cartridge out. It's a good idea to check the condition of the gaskets to see if they're stretched, dried, or cracked. These look pretty good. And again, if water is leaking out of the handle, you'll want to replace this as well. I'm going to try and clear out some water so we get a better look at this. The seat came out with the paper towel. I'm going to put that back in so you can see what it's supposed to look like. This is what it should look like. Let me show you why the faucet was dripping. Check out this seat. It's worn and it's torn, so it's not creating a good seal. And this is the spring that goes underneath. That spring looks good. I'll replace it anyway. You can see the spring tapers up, and that's how it goes back in. I'm going to do a little cleanup here. Now I'm going to put in the new seat and spring. The spring's going to go in first, tapering up. And then the seat with the rim, or the smaller hole, side up. I've had too much coffee today. I've got a case of the jitters. I'm going to use my finger to gently get it seated over the spring. And now to put everything back together. I'm put back in the cartridge just as it came out. Oh, your faucet may also have a little notch in it, like this one, and that just keeps you from putting the cartridge in incorrectly. Push it down. Put the bonnet nut back on. Righty-tighty. And then I'll tighten it up with the pliers. All right, I gotta take a few seconds and wipe that stuff up. I just can't stand looking at it anymore. All right. And the bonnet nut just has to be tight. You don't want to crank it down with brute force. Put the handle back on with a good push. Secure it with a screw. Turn back on the hot water supply. Turn back on the cold water supply. Now to check my work. And I realized this video took a little more than 5 minutes, but it should take you about that long to do this now that you know how to do it. And as I always say, if you want to make something take twice as long, make a video about it. So unless your Delta faucet is leaking from the handles when turned on, don't let the plumbing supply stores sell you new cartridges when all it requires is a $5 Delta Universal Seats and Springs Repair Kit. I got these in the plumbing aisle at my local Home Depot. I hope this video has been helpful. If it has, please do me a favor and like it. More importantly, please subscribe. That always helps me out. Thanks so much for watching. Workshop Dance Party.